How would you like to learn to use the Chinese 5 elements to better understand your own health issues? That's the intention of this 19th video in a series for my monthly blog at letmagichappen.com. I'm Dr. Larry Burk, author of Let Magic Happen, Adventures in Healing with a Holistic Radiologist. In Chapter 11, Acupuncture has side benefits, I discuss how the 5-element theory helped me understand my own health issues and also health issues of one of my patients. In the appendix, technique number 3 is actually the Chinese 5 elements, which is pretty much what we're going to be discussing on this video. One caveat, I'm not a 5-element acupuncture practitioner. Much of what I learned from some of the local 5-element acupuncturists and also the books listed on the blog. That said, we're going to use the chart that I use in clinic with my patients to help them better understand the 5 elements. And it's a small chart, so I'm going to hold it up and get up and hold it in front of the camera so you'll at least be able to zoom in on it for a few seconds. Then I'm going to post it as a link on the accompanying newsletter. Okay, so off we go on a tour of the 5 elements, using this as this little key up at the top as our guide. We're going to be, you notice that the 5 elements are distributed around the yin-yang symbol, with the most yin organ, water, at the bottom, the most yang organ, the fire, at the top, and then wood is somewhat in between over here, and then earth is a little bit more yang, and metal is a little bit more yin. So the particular chart is laid out as a Chinese cycle of transformation, where you have the water element in the winter nurturing the wood that grows in the spring season. The wood burns into fire during the summer. The fire turns to ash and falls back to the earth in the harvest season. Out of the earth comes metals in the autumn season of metal, and then the metal will go back into wood and either be rusted or dissolved as the winter and the cycle starts again. There are 5 seasons to correspond to the 5 elements, with the fall season broken up into two different seasons. The key up at the top is going to list an element, a yin organ and a yang organ, a favorite color, a favorite season, a favorite time of day, and a favorite taste. I'm going to skip the next few items because we don't have enough time, then go right to the psychological characteristics, the pathological exaggeration, the archetypal characteristic, and the particular talent that you manifest. So we're just going to take a quick tour through the cycle so you get a feel for what you're looking for when you're understanding your own constitution. So starting with the water element, the organs are the kidney and bladder. In the wood, it's the liver and gallbladder. In the fire, it's the heart and small intestine. The earth, it's the spleen and stomach. The metal, it's the lung and large intestine. So if you have particular disease processes in any of those organ systems, then you'll get a clue as to what your Chinese 5-element constitution is. Now we're going to look at your favorite color. Would be black or dark blue in the water element. Then green, red, yellow, and white. Then your favorite season would be winter, spring, summer, harvest, or autumn. Favorite time of day would be night, sunrise, noon, afternoon, or sunset. Then favorite flavor would be salty, sour, bitter, sweet, and spicy. And now we're going to go on to the psychological characteristics as your baseline, and then what is your pathological exaggeration. The water person is a very willful, positive thinker. When the positive thinking is blocked, that person goes into a fearful state. The wood person is baseline anxious and then gets anger when stressed. The fire person is baseline joyful and then gets manic when stressed. The earth person is introspective and worries obsessively when stressed. The metal person has a baseline sadness or melancholy and gets depressed if stressed. Now when you're working in an organization or a team, it's helpful to know, it's helpful to have all 5 of the elements at play, and also to know which one is your strength and which one is your weakness. So the water person is the philosopher, his strength is the imagination. Now the wood person is the pioneer who actually takes those imaginative ideas and takes the initiative and gets the ball rolling. The fire person is the wizard and the communicator who will network the whole team together. The earth person is the peacemaker and negotiates safe working conditions for everybody, so everybody plays nice with one another. The metal person is the alchemist who makes the discriminating decisions, life and death decisions in an organization. So when I realized that the 5 elements were speaking to us like this, I started looking at my own health concerns and my own personal history, and I realized that I was predominantly a fire person with some wood and some water thrown in, and very few people are just purely one element. I found I had very few characteristics of the earth or the metal element. This played out as my favorite colors were dark blue for Duke blue, and red was my high school color. I had always had a fast heart rate as a child. I had a small intestine infection as an adult. I had pain along the small intestine meridian in my shoulders. So not only does it play out as the type of disease you get in an organ, but also you can get symptoms along a particular meridian. I also had symptoms along my hamstrings due to the bladder and kidney meridians. I also have been described as a joyful networker, which fits with the fire personality. I also have a large list of Facebook friends and email addresses. I also have some anger issues and some tendon issues, and tendons are often associated with the wood element as well. And so that was sort of an aha moment for me when I realized that I could explain a lot of my symptoms and other issues based on my 5-element composition. And having learned how to apply it to myself, I was then able to see the same constitutional issues in my patients, and which guides the acupuncture treatment and the placement of the needles, as described in the newsletter. So that is a quick tour through the 5 elements from my perspective, based on what I've learned over the years. So I would encourage you to look into your own 5-element constitution. Consider consulting with a 5-element practitioner if you want to get even deeper into the process. That particular chart is on my going to be linked on the newsletter. And so also check out on my website my other newsletters and blogs, and as well as my book. So that said, have fun with the 5 elements and let magic happen. Thanks.